Alex!
Oh my god, it's Jonathan.
What the fuck? I haven't seen you since we last recorded episode 18 of the Blockheads
Holy
podcast.
shit, that's true.
Oh my god.
It's been a while.
How you doing, Alex?
You've grown.
You have too.
In the same space,
yeah.
as always.
Your dick is
whenever
grown.
we record.
What that?
What? That it has.
Had that
it's gotten...
just in the past couple seconds? How did that happen?
I mean, the length, not so much, but it's girthy.
It is girthy.
I've noticed.
I'm feeling it in my hand right now. It's quite meaty, quite quite.
There's
firm.
some heft. There's some heft.
Yeah.
It's like I like kind of just shift my pelvis and like plop it down on on top of a table as if it were a small child. You know. I mean, at this point, it has so much mass. I call it the event horizon.
Okay.
Because it has as much of a gravity pull as the center of a black hole would.
I'm starting to regret doing this episode. Gonna be honest with you, Alex.
Well, that's okay, Jonathan. It's been a year since we've seen each other.
I know.
And we haven't talked at all since the last episode.
We haven't. I mean, we haven't been in the studio here in Guam to really, chat it up, to shoot the breeze or anything like that.
Well,
You've been in jail, as far as I know, right?
Yes. I mean, I don't want to get into that too much.
No. I mean, how's that kid doing, by the way? How's he doing?
Well, I don't want to really talk about that either. That's kind of related to the charges.
Well, it's probably you're probably not allowed to disclose anything.
But we've been underground basically for the past year. Like, people have been wondering why aren't you guys doing Blockheads? Why is Blockheads not coming out every week? Even though we never really. Did we ever consistently do it weekly?
We did, yeah. I mean, I don't think we ever missed a week, did we?
Well, no. I think maybe for like 3 or 4 episodes was our longest run of just consistent week after week. But then we would take like 3-week break, and then we would come back and do it for like another 2 to 3 weeks in a row, and then like another 2-week break.
Did we really? What the fuck? I don't even remember that.
I think. Well,
I thought it was weekly.
Yeah. Well, we were aiming for weekly, but then there were just weeks when we were like, nah. I think.
I don't think so. I like how we both have a different recollection of events, and it's our podcast.
We've both been underground for about a year now. As you remember from the last episode, or not from the last episode, but the last episode we were going to record, I'm sure, North Korea was threatening Guam. With some nuclear devices, potentially. Either that, or we just figured out that they could hit Guam. I'm not sure. Anyway, so everyone started freaking out on Guam, and luckily, back in the days of President Jimmy Carter, under the Carter administration, we just built this. Yeah, exactly. We just built this huge underground, network of tunnels. Right. That were used mainly for smuggling out various contraband from Guam to the rest of the South Pacific, so that we could get natives hooked on certain drugs like crack cocaine, all run by the CIA, by the way.
Don't tell them our plan. Come on, don't reveal too much.
It's okay. This has all been declassified. We were involved, but not to an incriminating amount. It's exactly what happened with black people in the 80s.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the CIA used crack to destroy the black population in America.
Thank God, am I right?
Literally the same thing that happened, but with South Pacific native islanders in the 70s. So that was like a trial run, basically. Anyway, so we have all these giant underground concrete, like really super reinforced structures that could survive a nuclear fallout. And so the entire population of Guam has just been underground for the past year. We've had our society running, and much like Fallout, the video game, I don't even know what a video game is at this point. It's been so long. But yeah, we're back.
We're back. Yeah. The radiation in the air has cleared. We're able to come out of the tunnels without having to catch, some severe case of cancer. We're okay.
Only minor cancers.
Only minor cancers. The good cancers. We've always had the good cancers. Like thyroid
cancer. Yeah.
Yeah. Like testicular cancer. I mean,
testicular cancer.
That's a pretty good survival rate.
Testicular
cancer. Like a 95% survival rate.
Yeah, if you get a tumor in your balls, you get bigger balls.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, you do. That's, people like to, peddle all these fake, like, erection pills, you can make your dick bigger with this medication. No, get a fucking tumor, and,
exactly.
all your problems are solved.
That's literally how penis growth pills work.
They just give you tumors, and they just enlarge your penis by default. Yeah.
Or even Viagra. You know, it just grows a bunch of tiny tumors inside the veins of, you know, the circulatory system of your penis.
Inside your veins, yes.
And then, but they're like temporary tumors, you know, and so they just kind of like blow up, and then, you know, boom, you're in the action.
And then they go away. And they kill themselves.
They deflate.
They're suicidal tumors.
Exactly. They're sentient. And we create societies of these every time you take a Viagra, and they all commit mass genocide.
It's like a Jonestown every time, you know, it wears out.
A Jonestown in your dick.
Now, sometimes they get a little too excited, and they decide, well, you know, life maybe is worth living, and we don't want to kill ourselves. And so, if you've got an erection for more than 4 hours, then you want to go talk to your doctor, and that suicide is going to turn into a genocide, let me tell you. They'll take care of it for you.
At which point, you can rest assured that a military coup is occurring within your penis.
Yeah.
So, you got to be wary about that.
I don't even.
So that's all we had planned for this episode of Blockheads.
All right, guys, subscribe to Akashliga Productions. Have a good one.
What were the actual talking points we had? Dude, I have them written down for the last episode.
Talking points down? I just went into this blind.
I remember for the episode we were going to do, but we just never did. So we had complain about the video backgrounds, which I forgot about. I don't even know what that was regarding. Oh, I think it was because we were using like nature backgrounds for like every single episode. But then episode 18, I used like this weird space background, and I didn't like that for some reason.
Well, I mean, hopefully now that it's been a year, the Silent Watchers had some time to upload some new content for us.
I was just about to say. So yeah, I don't know. We've probably mentioned this before on the podcast, but on the Blockheads YouTube channel, we subscribe to the Silent Watcher, which is just this channel that uploads like 4 hours of like 4K footage of nature, and it's perfect. We just steal all of their stuff.
We just rip it down and we throw it into the video. It's great. It's perfect.
Anyway, after that we had North Korea finna pick a fight with Guam, and then the emoji where the steam's coming out of the guy's nose.
I'm glad you added that.
And then innocuous podcast with DK Films, Dangerous Bricks. I don't even know why I wrote that down, like it was some kind of ripoff or something. I guess it was our mission to expose all of every single Brick Filmer podcast ever, or Brick Filmer run podcast rather. Yeah. So cool.
Remember when innocuous was a thing?
Oh my god.
They're extinct now. Crazy.
They were like trying to come back a few times, like the innocuous reviews for people who don't know. They did like reviews on YouTube and Instagram and kind of made a splash because they were very critical.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but Chris was able to, Chris led that investigation, whatever you want to call it, to figure out who was actually behind the innocuous account. And
it's more of a crusade, really.
Exactly. He figured it out, and I actually know who was behind it. I was gonna say, but I don't.
Do you want to give us the juicy scoop?
I can say that Seb was a part of it. Frozen Lake Films.
That was public.
I think he made it public, yeah. And then I don't know if I can say I mean, I don't think the people would care, really. It's not like they're a thing anymore. I know DK Studios was behind it.
At least partially.
And then there were two other guys that I can't remember now because they weren't.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's what I was. Huh? That's what was happening. So DK Films had a podcast called Dangerous Bricks, and on one of the episodes he had the people of Innocuous Films, or Innocuous Reviews on, and then they had like a voice changer. Yeah.
I remember that. How long did that podcast last? Not 19 episodes. I can tell you that.
Oh, got him.
I can tell you that.
Like 3 weeks. What was the one that ETR did with Barbecue Brick Films?
They got like 2 episodes.
They got a solid 2 episodes in. I don't remember what
it's called. No.
But we got further.
Hey, we are the with just 19 episodes. We are still the longest running Brick Film podcast on the platform. I don't know if that's something to brag about, but I'm gonna take it as an achievement.
Oh, what about the Four Monkeys have a podcast?
Yeah, but it's not. It's fairly new as far as I know.
What's it called? The Brick Filmers Guild. Ooh, how many episodes do they have? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Brick Filmers BFG podcast. Yeah. Big fat gong.
Okay. Oh my god, they've had 19 episodes too.
Oh no. Well, we got to keep it going now.
Why? Fucking hell. Now we just got to do one. We got to do one episode. One more episode. And then we can end it.
Jesus. I want to do another.
That's actually maddening. Wow, okay. I was supposed to be on that podcast.
Really?
But now I'm not going to. Yeah, they did, but we never set anything up. But
cool.
if they contact me again, I'm turning them down. I'm not.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
You got to stunt their growth as much as humanly possible.
Oh, of course.
At this point.
Yeah, but no. I mean, to anyone who might be a little confused, we're not continuing the podcast.
This is not. I mean, I think the official thing that was coming out of our mouths for a while was the podcast is on hiatus. We might come back to it eventually, and this is that. Coming back to it eventually.
And then we're not coming back.
But again. We're not. We don't. Yeah, we don't intend to do any episodes after this. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe like another year or two down the line, we feel like doing something. But you shouldn't plan on it.
No, I mean,
do not make it. Do not make it a part of your weekly formula or something.
We may come back to do like, you know, a holiday episode or something, you know, for an occasion. But
yeah,
it's definitely not going to be regular, and it's not. It's not going to be progressing, I guess, is what I'm going to
Or maybe, like, if we ever meet up IRL or something.
Oh, yeah, we could do an IRL podcast. Man, that'd be pretty sick.
That would be cool.
We'd have to do it in Guam, though, to kind of, you know,
well, yeah. I mean, well, that being said, Blockheads is already an IRL podcast. We are in the same room.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, not on the weekends when we're here in Guam, like, outside in the rest of the when we fly back, doing something like that would be cool as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I don't know. This episode was kind of a way for us to you know, talk
closure.
about, yeah, you know, and we can also discuss what we've been doing this past year, why the podcast ended so abruptly, you know, and what's, you know, going to really why we're hindering the progression of the episodes, I guess, you know, like kind of why we've decided to make this decision. So, Alex, if you want to talk about what's been going on in your life.
Oh my God, what's happened in the past year? Well, the entirety of from now until the previous year, I finished up my junior year of high school, I guess, which is neat. No, thank you.
Damn.
Encore. Wait, I don't say encore. The audience says encore.
All right. Encore.
I don't want to do.
Alex.
I don't want to do an encore of junior year. Let me tell you that. fucking SATs. But and you finished your junior year, but I'm sure we'll get to that when we get to you.
I did finish my junior year.
Or yeah, exactly. Again, his junior year part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Fucking senior year. Sorry.
Senior year.
And then so I finished up my junior year. I've been doing brick films, I guess, for the most part. I mean, in the background, throughout the majority of 2017, like from late 2016 until now, I've kind of like had an identity crisis over like what I should be making. Like I feel like I should be exactly, right? Like I feel like I should be making stuff that's, you know, challenging me more than comedy brick films. Which, not to say, you know, I can't do more with brick films and I can't put more effort into brick films, but I feel like, you know, I don't want to say like my efforts will be wasted, but I could spend energy developing another aspect of filmmaking, or even general stop motion animation that could potentially be more serving in the future. So that's kind of like locked me up in fear as like what I should be doing, and so I haven't like taken any steps to do anything else.
That's the thing, you know, like when you want to do something but you're so paralyzed by that fear that you just don't have the courage to actually do it. That's terrifying. That is genuine. That's terrifying for anybody that wants to create something, you know.
It's like the fear of failure. And let me tell you, I always say this, like people, like I'll do live streams and when I'm animating and people ask me like, what's your hot tip? And when they ask that, they want to know like, how do I get smooth animation or something like that. But I always say, don't be afraid to be bad, because when you're starting at, that's applicable to every point in your career. You know, when you're just starting out, or career or whatever, you know, when you're just starting out, you're going to be bad. That's unless you're some kind of like brick filming, you know, animation autistic savant, right? where you've got it automatically, you don't have to work at it at all. You're the best person ever. But that's not 99.99% of the population, unfortunately. For the rest of us normals, or us normies, I guess.
Jesus, Alex, it's 2018. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, libtards.
There we go. Soy boys.
Soy boys, cucks. For the rest of us, we have to like work at something, right? So that's, you know, so at the beginning you have to work at it so that you could develop the skill. And when you get into like more of an, I guess, novice kind of intermediary skill level, then you have to make sure you continue challenging yourself in whatever it is you're doing. And if you don't think you can challenge yourself any further, or at least you don't feel fulfilled by what you're doing, then you should probably look into pivoting to maybe something similar or something else entirely. I know for sure that I still love making videos, right? It's just brick films are not necessarily the way going forward. I've been doing recreation so I can still get the editing itch I always get. But aside from that, you know,
right. I completely relate to that.
I've been thinking about, you know, stuff like that. Aside from that, recently, just like a week ago, I got a job. Whoa,
Hey-o.
crazy. Hey, I am now of the working class.
Yeah.
I am a proletarian. Working for under the thumb of the bourgeoisie, and I'm about to create an uprising in the name of glorious Lenin, Lenin.
Did you say Lenin? What?
Lenin. I said like Lenin, like Lehman, like Lehman Brothers or something, or
right.
I don't know.
Well, I guess
something
you know he was leaning when they tore down that statue of him.
Hey-o. And then they got the dab or the boy.
Yeah,
I love that video.
That's a good video.
Anyway, so yeah, I got a job at, this was, you know, I interviewed like 2 weeks ago, and then they said, okay, come back for another interview. Then I interviewed again, and then I got in, and I'm like, damn, you're in, son. Here's a 3-day training course. And now that's technically over. I still don't know how to do half the things. I work at a bakery, by the way.
But see, here's the thing. It goes along with what you were just saying, is when you start off, you know, you don't really know what you're doing, but as you continue to work on your craft, you know, you become more skilled at what you're doing. So it just takes time, you know?
My craft of scooping ice cream.
Exactly. It's a talent.
It is. You know, it's not everyone has it. So in my situation, scooping ice cream, I turned out to be that 1.01% that's autistically good at it.
Yeah.
Because that came pretty naturally, though. To be honest, you know, scooping ice cream isn't that.
It just comes with your autism, doesn't it? I mean,
exactly. You know, the extra chromosome is like an extra.
It's like a superpower.
It's yes, exactly. But it's scooping ice cream. It's preparing, you know, like cookies and muffins and brownies and stuff like that for customers. It's working at the register. It's making drinks, which is the part I still have to work a lot at, because, you know, this is a place where you can have 4 adjectives to describe your coffee, right? You know, like macchiatos, mocha, americano, cappuccino. So I still got to learn a lot of that stuff. And if I really, you know, for the first 3 days I was pretty safe, you know, working the register, felt pretty good working the register and the whatever, what else is it called? Ice cream and the other stuff. But you know, making all the drinks, I still have to kind of like push myself to try and make drinks, because there's like guides, you know, and I can ask my coworkers. They're all pretty cool. They have like little laminated guides of how to make everything, so I just have to try them out every once in a while. I'm just afraid of like messing it up, because here's the thing, right? People are happy. People are pretty much always happy or just kind of indifferent whenever you make them ice cream. You're scooping them ice cream, you're getting ice cream, you're in a good mood, right?
Right.
Unless you're having like a body shaming crisis or whatever, you just feel terrible about yourself. But that's a different situation, okay? Generally,
It's a different
you feel
thing. Yeah.
generally you feel great when you're getting ice cream. When you're getting your coffee or drink, even in the middle of the day, which is when I work from like 3 to 11 o'clock. You're not necessarily happy. This is your thing you get every day, and you've talked about it thousands of times to these people, and if they get it wrong, you're gonna be not a happy boy, you're gonna be sad boy, and you're gonna be a mad boy. Okay? Sad and mad, bad combo. So anyway, I just have to push myself a little bit more. But yeah, so these Legos aren't paying for themselves. Am I right, guys? Heyo. So that's me. And yeah, I guess that's that. I'm getting ready for junior year. It's August now, so I have to actually. It's fuck. Yes.
I mean, it's summer. It's not like this kind of stuff matters right now. It's
exactly.
It's fine.
But it's
Fuck
August.
It,
So it's
what I mean?
August at this point. So I have 3 weeks until school starts. So I have to start working.
Oh
on
yeah.
mine.
By the way, I just want to point out, because I don't even know if people are going to notice this for themselves, but episode 18 of Blockheads came out on August 2nd, 2017. So that's why we're making this episode come out ideally on August 2nd, 2018. Heyo, exactly.
Oh, today's
one
the
year after.
31st.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought today was the 2nd.
Yo, I just had a light bulb go out. My God.
Sick.
My God,
Wow.
that was fucking sick, bro. Oh,
Yo,
Jesus.
Electron disruption.
little things in life.
Exactly. These are the things that still give you joy in life.
Yeah, like, goddamn it. I just witnessed that light bulb go out.
You're like,
My
that's
week
an
is
event.
made. Yeah, it
That's
is.
an event.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so I guess I'm getting ready for senior year. I gotta start working on summer homework and start working on college essays and stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's freaking nice, dude. So yeah, I guess that's me. I'm trying to work on a live action short film that's ideally going to be used as a college admissions thing. So we'll see if I can start filming that within the next few weeks. Anyway,
Nice.
so yeah, I guess that's me. I'm chugging forward. I'm probably gonna try and switch from regular stop motion animation to something else. That's a question people had, like, what are you doing forward, especially for you, since you've already kind of taken those first steps.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go away with it. Take it away.
I
is
mean,
the word
I
thing I meant to
guess,
say.
yeah, go away with it. Yeah, no,
Go
I
away
just,
with it.
I don't know. It's the main. I want to go ahead and start. The main reason this show ended to begin with, I would say the driving factor was probably the fact that I got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people are well aware of that.
And she just drove us up. She is the Yoko to our Beatles.
That is. That's a good way to put it.
That is literally
That is
what
actually that is literally what happened. I one time told her that's what happened. She's like, "Good." She was proud of herself.
happy about herself.
But
I should say that I should say I have no ill will towards
no,
Adele.
I didn't know.
It's not like she drove us apart.
No,
it's
we
just
still
Jonathan,
talk all the time. Like,
Yeah.
apart from that
Yeah.
intro, we talk all the time. It's really just that we haven't gotten around to recording because we're busy doing one thing or the other. There's somebody calling me right now. I'm gonna have to take this. Can you just ramble for a couple seconds while I answer this?
I'll talk about like what kind of part of why we stopped as well. I think part of why we stopped Blockheads is, it started out as a fun thing, right? Where we just wanted to do something like every week for a while. But then you keep doing this thing like every week, right? Each episode takes time to edit. It takes it takes time to transfer these files because we each record our own audio and then Jonathan sends them to me. And I'm not throwing Jonathan under the bus or anything. I've always offered to edit the podcast like every single week, That being said, so whenever I edit them, it takes like, it takes like an hour maybe to edit them usually. I used to edit them a lot more heavily, but now I just usually keep it pretty, straightforward. I'll listen to the episode at least once, and if I need to add any special edits throughout the video, then that's fine. But I pretty much streamlined it over time where the editing process itself doesn't take that long. I have to slap on the intro and the titles and then the ending, which is already all pre-rendered. But the issue comes with rendering, which I don't have the most powerful computer. So the rendering takes like 3 to 4 hours, so I would always do it overnight. But it's, you know, it's a process. And then during that time, I'm trying to make the thumbnail, and, you know, I can't really do anything else too much on my computer. I can't even really watch videos while it's rendering because it takes up a lot of processing power. And so over time, it started kind of grinding down. And, you know, especially for me and Jonathan, it's not like we ever saw any money come out of it, right? We never got to the level where we started. Actually, we did get to a level where we started getting monetized. But this was before YouTube changed their policies, where you had to like cut back on or not cut back, but you needed to have at least 10,000 subscribers, which we don't have. Oh wait, no, 1,000 subscribers, which we don't have, and then 10,000 watch hours or something like that. And so I'm not sure if we got to we might have, at our height, we probably did have maybe 10,000 watch hours. I haven't looked at the analytics since the change happened. But we were getting, you know, because it's a podcast, even though we put out an episode every week or two, you know, all those minutes watched adds up. But because of that change, you know, we were getting money before, but it was never at a large amount. You know, it was maybe like $3 a month. And YouTube has a threshold where they don't actually send you the money until, you know, you get to $100, you know, built up over time. So we never saw any money from it. And so when you do this kind of thing like over and over again for each week for half a year, pretty much, is you know, how long we did it, probably like 2/3 of a year because of the breaks we took. You know, when you start, your mentality starts changing a little, at least on my end. I haven't really talked to Jonathan too much about this, but it kind of started changing of like, well, here we go, and then we upload, and we're done, you know, and then, you know, nothing comes out of it. We have viewers. Looking back, though, I think it really is surprising how much people cared about the podcast, I guess. Like, you know, towards the end there, I was getting in that mindset of, like, kind of like, you know, I have to edit now, you know, when editing became a chore, and, you know, we're not going to see much come from it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry that took so long.
Hey. I was just talking about how how I was surprised about how much people cared about the show, surprisingly.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
I never.
Yeah, we've had a great
like
line of support, I think, from people.
I forgot, you know, and especially towards the end of the podcast, I kept forgetting like how much fan art we got after that first piece by Lego Elephant Studios.
Right.
He changed his name on Instagram. He does like actual animation now, like traditional
he's
animation.
Great. He's really great.
It's really fantastic. I gotta find his.
Yeah, we'll plug him here.
His account. But he was like the first guy that sent us fan art, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. It was him.
It was him. He was definitely one of the first, if not the first. And so we featured that on the podcast, and of course, you know, that inspired others to start doing other pieces of fan art. We got like 20 to 30 pieces of fan art by the end of it all, which is fantastic. Like I have a folder of all of them in here, and they're great. I'm gonna toss up as many as I have in there now. It's not a complete list, but you know, just all the stuff on screen, just to appreciate all the people who put out fan art, as well as the people who made animations, who spent the hours of time, you know, or even if it wasn't hours, you know, because they were generally pretty short, but you know, to put in the time to animate something that was like a clip from Blockheads. I remember FaZe did one. Someone did one of the Hux episode we had, which was, you know, great. Yeah, you know, the comments we always got like at least a handful of comments, which is awesome. And then like over time, the amount of people asking where is Blockheads, you know, when I've live streamed, I've had people asking where's Blockheads, it's, you know, yeah. I forgot towards the end there, I started kind of thinking of it you know, I was saying, like, I started kind of thinking of it, you know, we weren't getting like any returns, you know, like monetarily.
Right.
And when you put like the kind of effort that we were kind of putting into the show, where we had to plan out a time each weekend and make time for it, and then you know, spend the time editing and stuff like that, and making thumbnails or whatever, you know, when you don't see a return, especially when you know, you had channels like us where we've had channels that have been producing money, right? And when we were kind of doing the same thing on YouTube, that mentality kind of, you know, it's the charms kind of started wearing off towards the end there, I think, of like making a podcast and making you know, something like this every week. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
I also forgot how many guests we had. You know, I like looking back on it, you know, over the past year, I always thought of like just, you know, me and you kind of doing it alone. But we had Hux on, we had Houston on, we had
Bridget co-host one time.
Bridget co-host. yeah, I forgot about that episode. Yeah, the one I wasn't on.
Just Too Good.
Just Too Good. We had like 4 of my friends on for the least popular episode.
That was a good
that people didn't enjoy. Fair enough. We did like, you know, at least a third of our episodes were co-hosted, right. Or guest hosted with someone else on, and that was really cool. That was a fun thing that I, you know, enjoyed. Yeah, I don't know, you know, what else to say about it.
No, I think you said pretty much all that's, you know, that's needed to be said. We've always had great, you know, I don't know if I like fans. Like, I feel weird saying that. But
it's
like,
weird because like fan is inherently like a shortening of the word fanatic, and you're like, ooh, like, and this is like a thing in general for us on YouTube.
Fans and like, you know, just when talking about myself, it's
me neither.
Weird.
I'll say like followers, you know, or you know,
viewers. I say viewers.
Viewers. Audience. Yeah, there you go.
We've had a great audience, I guess you could put it that way.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and everybody is always so supportive. They're you know, we've got a surprisingly active base as well. I mean, we had people commenting on the most recent episode just like a week ago, which is crazy because we haven't uploaded in a year now. So that's just alone is you know, mind-blowing to me. So all of the support has been great.
You know, at this point we're at 497 subscribers. We had as a little bit of an aside, we had like a plan for like when we got to 500 subs, we were gonna get Big Man Tyrone. We were gonna pay him like $30 to say a thing on the show. But you know, I don't think we're gonna do that too much.
Anymore, but yeah.
Anyway, so the point being that every single episode of Blockheads has, you know, even though we had, you know, 500 subscribers almost practically, every episode got at least like more views than we had subscribers, except for the one with my friends, but you know, whatever. But like
that's the outlier, you know.
But like the first 4 episodes have at least 1,000 views each, which is crazy. And then, you know, when considering like how many subscribers we have on this channel in particular, and you know, that could have been like kickback from our other channels when we're tweeting about the episodes or posting on Instagram or whatever. But even still, like, we had a pretty consistent following. You know, there were episodes where we had 1,000 views. You know, somewhere we had like 600 or 700 views for the most part, 500 views. A little inconsistent, but we almost always had at least like 500 viewers per episode, which is a crazy thought.
That's
to think,
amazing.
You know,
I don't know, because I've never been able to get through one of these myself. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
I don't know how people do it, but we appreciate you.
Well, I'm a narcissist and I like hearing myself talk, but
well,
so
there you go.
You know, but that's aside the point, or beside the point rather. You know.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely had a consistent audience, which is great.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? Reflecting on.
Well, I was like saying something and then I had to go. I was gonna be talking about what I've been doing, I guess.
Yeah. Oh year. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh no, it's
Jesus.
fine. Can't believe you hijacked it, Alex. Fucking hell.
That's my narcissism. There you go. Keep
going.
Sorry,
there you go.
I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
No, you won't. Anyway, yeah. So again, as I was saying earlier, I don't know what you said while I was gone. So I'm sure you said a bunch of stuff that I agreed with, but you know, the driving force, or one of the things that kind of tipped the podcast off from, you know, continuing, I guess, would be me getting with Adele and you know, hanging out with her and doing a bunch of stuff, you know, with her and going on dates. So we weren't finding the time to record, I guess. And that's, of course, at the time, we were also both just going back to school, so we had that. And I also, we were both, like, writing and still animating at that point. We were both still posting on our channels. So we had that to deal with. And then, of course, in January, I started kind of dabbling in commentary to try to see if, testing the waters with that. And so ever since then, I've been trying to run 2 channels at the same time, and it's been busier than I could have imagined. So I've got that to worry about, and so we just haven't really, found the time to record as much as we would have liked to.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want to continue; it's just that we really aren't able to, in some ways. But
I think part of it is that neither of us really made an effort to as well.
Yeah.
Because I think we were, after half a year of it, we were both kind of getting a little burnt out. I think maybe a little bit. I think we always enjoyed recording the podcast, especially when we had a guest on. But it was kind of grinding. Like I said, yeah.
I feel like it could have done a lot better if we had maybe had a guest every episode.
Yeah.
That probably would have helped it stay alive for a little bit.
Those were usually the most popular episodes. Like, the Just Too Good episode already brought in a lot of his viewers. 2,500.
Yeah, the one with Hux got 1,100. The one with Houston got 1,100. And then we were planning on getting. Didn't we want to get Nia Walker on at one point?
We did want to get, but we never reached out to her. I don't think, or him. Sorry, or her. Oh shit.
Come on, Alex. Come on. You're misgendering already.
I think she's trans. I'm sorry. Honestly, I do apologize because I don't try to,
You're one of those cucks who tries to intentionally use the wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god, I hate people that do that. Honestly.
Yeah,
it's kind of a dick move. It's like, okay.
As an aside, okay, I get it, right? If you don't like trans or whatever, okay, whatever, dude. But don't try and purposefully
use the wrong pronoun.
Yeah. You could just respect it, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a respect thing, honestly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it.
You don't have to like it's just kind of whatever. I don't know.
We didn't have topics for this episode, so we're just kind of talking about whatever comes to mind. So,
yeah. Sorry.
Although we did ask some questions on social media, so
yeah, if we want to get into questions,
we're 40 minutes in. If you want to go ahead,
yeah, sure. If we have a surprising amount of questions.
Yeah, let's start with Instagram. I can pull up the tweets if you want.
Sure, yeah. So Lego Elephant Studio is one of the first guys to do fan art. His Instagram is now Kuba Beer, KUBBABEER. Again, shout out to him. He does really cool animations, especially, I think he's 16, 17 maybe. And they are surprisingly good. They're lively. So please check out his stuff. He's a great, supporter of the show. As well, shout out to Tyfly for always asking probably the best questions. I think
that's somebody we've always wanted to get on, but we just never.
Yeah, we never got Ty. We never got Ty on. Yeah, that'd be fun as well. But shout out to him. He was always a consistent
supporter.
Supporter, and that's how we kind of met him, and eventually he started showing up a lot in my live streams, and so we've kind of become more acquainted since then. Yeah. Anyway, so looking at the questions on so Kuba, I guess Kuba Beer asks, do you think you'll move away from brick filming more into more conventional animation methods? We already kind of answered this. I'm not so sure of.
I'm not.
Do you want to?
I'm not looking to move into anything animation, but I'm still going to be posting videos. I like making content. Right. It's just that's not the kind of content I want to be making. I've said this before on probably on this show, but other places, that I've never been in it because I enjoy the animation aspect. I'm in it because I enjoy the writing part. I feel like that's the most, at least that's the part that tickles my interest the most. That I've always liked doing is writing and telling stories and things of that nature. It's just animation at the time was the easiest way for me to express myself creatively, you know, because I had so many like Lego to use, so much Lego, I don't know. So I just thought it was the easiest way. So I don't really have any plans to move forward into another type of animation. But, you know, I'm trying commentary now. We'll see where it goes, if it goes anywhere. But I'm having fun with it, so I don't know. We'll see.
You're getting ready for community college now.
Yep.
Did you want to continue just pursuing film in general once you have your basics out of the way?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to go to a film school, or at least a 4-year university and study film. I want to go into screenwriting, ideally. We'll see if that actually, you know, comes to fruition. But that's the plan right now. I just have to go to community college for a year to get my basics out of the way because my grades sucked. So.
Fair enough.
Yep.
As for me, I'm definitely I'm moving away from brick filming. You know, not necessarily. I'm not going to be moving away from Lego entirely, but the kind of brick films I'm going to be making are definitely much more different than what, you know, I've previously done. I'm going to be trying to be a lot more experimental with the stuff after this Infinity War video.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, I was going to mention, I'm not planning on, like, ending the Batman series just yet. Like, I know everybody keeps asking me about that. We're not planning on ending it just yet, especially if I'm going to be home for another year. You know what I mean? Like, once we do end it, we're going to end it officially with, like, you know, an end episode, like an end to the season, to the series, whatever. It's a matter of time before that happens. We'd like to do a couple more episodes before then, but we'll just have to see. I'll be keeping like you updated on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, but go ahead.
And I think, you know, maybe we can talk about this a little bit, but throughout season 3 of Lego Batman, you know, just to kind of look forward for what's going to be happening is that we have, you know, and especially if you look at the Christmas episode, this most recent one, we have been kind of developing this image of what this Batman is and what his actual struggles are. So you could probably be sure that that's, you know, going to be explored more, especially in the ending, I'd imagine.
Right.
As going forward.
Yeah, so just look out for that. It's gonna be exciting, I hope. You know, that's gonna be a long episode.
Yeah, I'm sure. Also, I just want to say I am looking for film schools. You know, just kind of out of the bat once I graduate college. I don't know if I'm gonna be looking for studying animation in particular or general filmmaking, but definitely something in production, I'd imagine.
Right.
Nelson Productions 16 asks, how bad was the Teen Titans Go movie? I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either.
But I will, and I think, I said it before, people give too much shit to Teen Titans Go. I think it's a funny show. It's just, whatever.
People don't like to accept it for what it is, you know? I mean, like, I don't enjoy it, but I can respect it for what it's trying to do.
Right, yeah, you don't, I'm not saying you have to like it, it's just, yeah.
Like, it's not for me, but I see why people like it, you know?
Right. Like, I enjoy it because there's a lot of meta humor and dumb references, so, you know, that's fun.
And I will say, the clips of the movie that I've seen and, like, the trailers, they don't look bad. Like, they seem very self-aware. Yeah. And that's kind of what the show has always been.
Right.
So
people have been saying, like, oh, it's a different production team for the movie. It's totally different. But it's still the same showrunners. That's the thing. It's the same producers and writers and everything. Yeah. So, anyway, whatever. We'll kind of rapid fire some of these. Thoughts on Aquaman and Shazam trailers? Aquaman looks like more of the same DC stuff. Shazam actually looks fun.
I think Shazam looks good, yeah. Aquaman looks like it's shaping up to be, you know, up there with Suicide Squad. It looks fucking awful, I'm gonna be honest. It looks horrible.
Gotta love that poster with the Getty Images shark.
You know, I saw a lot of people, like, talking about how it was bad that they were using Getty Images, and then I saw people, like, defending their use, saying that, like, well, it's a Getty Image, like, that's what stock photos are for. It's like, no shit, like, that's obviously, nobody's arguing that they shouldn't be using stock photos. They're arguing the way that it's, you know, presented on the poster. It just looks so lazy and sloppy.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb. They don't know what they're doing. They really don't. Speaking of not knowing what they're doing, the Titans trailer came out.
Oh my god.
Came out recently.
I cannot believe that show is still happening. Even after the trailer comes out, I'm like, this is not gonna happen,
dude.
Like,
oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh my god, it looks bad.
I've never seen a DC show all the way through, but oh my god, like I am so ready for this. You don't even know. It looks so bad, and I just can't wait to see it.
It looks like a fan film from like 20.
It's
like no offense to like Ismahawk, like the guys on YouTube that did like Nightwing the series and stuff, but it looks like on par with that.
Well, it's like,
and
you know,
Ismahawk is like,
yeah, what were you saying?
Ismahawk was like a team of like 5 people, and they got like $30,000 to make a 5-part miniseries, and it turned out very well for the stuff that they had. But then this looks like the same level of quality, and this is a studio.
It's like
a full studio with a full team and millions of dollars, I'm sure, for budget.
It's like some obnoxious pricks who just graduated film school decided to go out to a convention and film a bunch of like film a bunch of cosplayers, and, like cut them all into a trailer. That's perfect. But this is a show that had a budget. Like I don't know the budget on it, but I mean, if I were to guess, a lot of it was pocketing.
Like the lady playing Starfire was on Westworld, and you know that's been a show that's been blowing up, of course. Yeah. So I'm sure she wasn't cheap to get.
No.
You know, that's probably where most of their budget.
That's why they weren't able to spend a whole lot on her wig.
Yeah. By the way, I don't care that she's. I don't think either of us care that she's black. I think people that are complaining about that.
Speak for yourself.
I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, no, I don't really care. A lot of people. I don't see why people care about. Like, I've never cared about that kind of stuff in media
like
in
the
general.
Representation.
Like, who cares?
Like, oh, but it's not the way in the comics. Yeah. Like, it's a movie, dude. Who cares?
It's separate from the comics. They can be whatever race. Right. Who cares? Whatever.
Right.
I'm mad about her wig. Her wig is hideous.
It is. David S.21. Okay, most of these questions are just people asking us about movies, so we'll kind of rapid fire some of these. Incredibles 2. Did you see it?
I did. Yeah, I saw it twice.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
No, well, I didn't expect it to be good as the first one. You know?
Yeah.
The first one was so almost revolutionary for its time, you know, like in animation.
Yeah, it's pivotal. Yeah. Really.
And you can't live up to those standards that it set. So, but for what it was great.
I thought it was a good homecoming. I'm glad that the Elastigirl thick memes are back.
Of course.
And Shadowman's been having a field day.
Damn right.
We've answered this before. What's your favorite video we've made?
Still Avengers versus Justice League, because that's a lot of time went into that, and I'm proud of the way it turned out.
So. I don't know, dude. Fucking something. Who cares?
Hell yeah.
Anyway, anything within the past like 2 or 3 years, I'm sure. Titans, we did that. Ty Fly, your questions are they're too much for what we want to try and do with this episode. He asked about like
freedom. It's fine.
Okay, N-word was created to the N-word
Not
was
this
created
one.
to
Oh god, no.
Okay, we won't talk about this.
We're not talking
one.
about the N-word.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The question is like the N-word was created to discriminate against black people, as you may know. Do you believe that it can be used without being racist, just like as a filler word?
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sure a couple of like teenage white middle class kids have a lot to say about this.
I don't want to be on. You know, I don't want to be on YouTube defending the N-word. I just that's not what I'm doing right now.
Look, I'll just say that Louis C.K. has a funny bit about the N-word.
I agree with what Louis C.K. in his bit. You know.
Yeah, it's a funny bit. I don't think he really tries to say anything aside from saying the word the N-word is just white people getting away with saying the word itself, but just making you think about it, which is a funny observation. You know, obviously it's not, you know, the most prevalent thing, but you think about it, you're like, yeah. But anyway, I think that's all we'll comment.
But then again, Louis C.K.'s been flopping his dick around a bunch of strangers, so I mean, I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to take his word. But whatever.
So we'll you know think about that again. His second question is, in order to get the border wall built in its totality, some private land needs to be confiscated since some of the southern border isn't owned federally. What do you think should be done about that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just isn't eminent domain a thing that the government's like, we're gonna give you as much money as possible until you know you give up? I don't know. Or some of them could just volunteer lands. I don't know. Who cares? What is the worst CW show? Asks Cooper Hatsis.
I think it's Supergirl.
Supergirl. All of them are terrible. Who cares?
You've been on tirades about this, haven't you? You've gone on the record
fucking hate
talking
those shows
about how
so much.
fucking bad
They're so bad.
CW shows are.
They're just repetitive. It's the same season. It's one they make a season and then they just copy and paste it. Whatever. Who cares? Oh, fuck it. I keep saying who cares.
We can't get Alex on this subject. He's gonna be ranting for hours.
I'm done. I will pop a gasket I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm because of it. How long did it take to break out of your coffin? I'm sorry, we've been underground. I'll have you know, surviving the nuclear fallout.
We had to wait for the radiation to leave the air. Come on.
Yeah.
We're risking our lives right now.
Exactly. Just being above ground. We are developing tumors in our dicks, as mentioned previously.
Yeah, they blowing up.
Oh Jesus, motion movies and more with the question. The concept of all future guns in the US having the feature of semi-automatic restricted. This also has been done in the UK. Also, whenever gun law changes are being considered, people say it is not constitutional. However, automatic guns have already been banned despite the Constitution.
I like how we've got questions like these, and then right under it, it'll say something like Despacito.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, by the way, Infinity Brick Studios, for the Despacito question mark comment. Look, I don't think it's that we don't want to answer heavy political questions, because we've done that on the podcast before, but
that's not what we want to do with this episode.
We don't want to do that with this episode. You know what I mean?
Like with a comeback episode, that's not really. I'm fine with answering these, but just not in this setting. You know what I mean?
Like if you want our individual opinion, like ask us on Twitter.
Just like DM me.
That.
Like I've got my DMs open.
Like DM us or ask on a live stream, or I don't know, do whatever.
I'll still answer it, just not now, I guess.
Thoughts on Brick Tavern Films Killer Croc video?
Dude, I haven't seen a Brick film in like a year.
I have seen it. I like Brick Tavern Films. They make really good kind of
they're great. Multiple people.
You know, those kind of classic foresty kind of videos, which I enjoy a lot. Those kind of classic Batman videos. Favorite San Diego Comic-Con trailers? I will say I really like the Godzilla trailer. Not a fan.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm not.
But I'm a Godzilla dork anyway, because I think they're dumb and fun.
It does look dumb and fun. I'll give it that. I personally thought the Shazam trailer was probably one of the best. There were probably some I didn't even see. I think we can all agree the worst is Aquaman.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Speaking of trailers, because I feel like we probably would have been asked about this had we posted this later. Today, actually, the day we're recording this, the Venom trailer just went up. The new one.
Oh, a new one.
Have you seen it?
I saw a trailer like 2 days ago.
No. Have you seen the one from today?
No.
Where he's like, I'm gonna bite your head off, and then I'm gonna tear your legs off, and then I'm gonna rip your arms off, and then you're gonna be floating down the street like a turd in the wind. That's what he says.
What?
That is something.
Oh my god! I knew this movie was doomed. Venom is in the exact same league as Titans for me. Like, I never thought it was gonna happen. Even after the trailer comes out, I'm like, this is getting pulled.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
It's happening somehow. Yeah. People are hyped for it. Some people are actually thinking it's gonna be good.
Look, I think the visual representation of Venom looks cool. I think the CG certainly looks great. How it's like limited little spurts of Venom throughout most of the movie, but then he becomes Venom like halfway through or something. I like Tom. What's his name again? I was born in the dark.
Tom Holland. What's his name
again? Tom. No. Yes, I love Tom Holland in his role as Bane.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is great.
No, it's Tom Hardy.
So, yeah, I know. So Tom Hardy, I like him as an actor. So I don't know. We'll see if he does something.
Right. I don't.
And then everything else looks absolutely horrendous.
Have you seen that picture that's been going around Twitter where they like flipped the Venom logo? They mirrored it and it says money instead of Venom.
Oof. Oh Jesus, that's a fat oof.
I mean, with Sony at the I don't think a Venom movie could ever work. Honestly.
How can Sony in the same year they're releasing Venom and also Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh my god, that looks so good.
That one looks so good. It's like the most unique looking 3D movie, at least in the popular sphere. I haven't seen any like indie 3D movies, but like it's the most unique art style in years.
Yeah.
And it's of course helmed by Lord and Miller, Lego Movie guys, the dynamic duo.
Right.
How is that looking so good, but at the same time, this Venom?
It looks like a pile of trash. It's a pile of poop. Pile of poopy.
The thing is, like, a lot of these movies are created like at the studio level, and I'm sure a lot of Marvel movies are created like at the kind of high corporate level as well. But it's just like, Kevin Feige actually like cares. I think, at least somewhat, and these executives don't. Like we at least at Sony, like we see that with the Emoji Movie trailer.
No.
Some of their movies, I think, like miraculously find like a director and a writer that cares, in the case with this Into the Spider-Verse movie. But
yeah,
it's just like two ends of an extreme.
Yeah,
like how is this possible in the same year?
Yeah,
it's weird, man.
It's weird. When is that even supposed to come out? Like Christmas? I think it's around
Into
Christmas.
the Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
I think they're coming out like the same, like within 2 weeks of each other,
Right.
which is gonna be really weird.
I know Venom's coming out in like October.
Yeah.
Around that. Whatever.
Tumis Customs asks, "What are your thoughts on the firing of James Gunn?"
I've already given my thoughts on Twitter, and I had to argue with a lot of people. I really don't want to reiterate myself. I think it's pretty clear if you know us, if you listen to the podcast, if you've listened to us talk at all, you probably know how we feel about it.
Right. Like TLDR is, I think it's dumb that he got fired over a joke. Okay. Yeah, there's two levels of this. There's the people who are arguing that he's, the joke was 10 years ago, he's changed as a person, whatever, which I agree with. And then I also agree with, I don't know if you agree with this as well, but like, even if he did make those really bad, jokes like nowadays, I still don't think he should have been fired.
No, I agree.
'Cause I think it's silly to the extent with which, people get fired over silly, comedic comments, even if they are in very poor taste. I understand the concept of like, just because, freedom, this isn't like using freedom of speech as an argument, because I understand that freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences, but it's a joke. I mean, I don't know.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, you can't. There's a great like Bill Burr bit on this that was going around on Twitter, where it's like he was talking about how just because someone gets mad at something you say in jest doesn't make it any less of a joke because you had comedic intentions. The person who gets offended by something you say can't turn around and tell you that, oh, you really meant this, when it's like, no, I meant this. Like, you don't get to decide my intent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And whether or not you find James Gunn's comments funny, which I don't think anybody really does. Nobody's
really
defending
does.
what he's saying.
Unless you're like 12 years old, maybe. I don't know.
Then
you're like a massive edgelord.
Yeah, then we're kind of just... You have to understand where he's coming from. It's a joke. He doesn't mean it in the sense that he wants to fuck kids, That's where this is coming from. And a lot of people seem to be forgetting as well that the person who brought this up to begin with, Mike Cernovich, is the same idiot who peddled Pizzagate in 2016. Like, how...
Cerno.
What? These people are inadvertently siding with Pizzagators, and they don't even realize it, It's just so dumb.
Yeah.
It is so dumb, and I really, really hope... Now that we've seen the Guardians actually come out in support of, him being rehired...
So now Disney's in a... That's interesting, because Disney's in a position of, damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Because now they're like, okay, we fired James Gunn because we can't stand for these comments, or this person, as an extension of those comments. But now the Guardians... and they can't fire the Guardians at this point, right? No. They got their Guardians has Disney's balls in a vice. They're like, well, we don't agree with the comments, but we agree with the person, and see that they've changed and they're a good person. Yeah. So we actively support the person. And so now Disney's like, okay, well, if we don't rehire them, then Volume 3 is gonna be what? Who knows what's gonna happen with Volume 3?
I mean, he already wrote it, but still, the direction matters.
Yeah,
it really does. And if it's not done by and we almost had like a perfect like trilogy, you know what I mean? Because the first two were great.
Absolutely.
So it would really be a shame if they don't bring him back.
And if they do rehire them, rehire James Gunn, then there's gonna be those people that are like, blah blah blah, you know, I can't stand for these comments. But the thing is, how much of the general audience do you think actually cares or even knows about this?
That's
like
the thing,
of the tens of millions of people that see Guardians Volume 3, how many of them do you think have A, heard of this situation, B, actually care, C, are actively against James Gunn in every single way now?
Exactly.
Like, for the hundreds of millions of dollars that Guardians makes and already has a track record of, I don't know, man.
Right.
You know?
I don't know. Do you think at this point they will rehire or no?
Honestly, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think with this, like, I didn't think they were going to rehire him, but then the Guardians came out, like, as a unit. And I'm
that's
like,
the thing, like, everybody.
Absolute
the
unit,
entire main cast. Like, that's pretty
even, yeah, and his brother is what, and, you know, everyone.
Great.
So I would love to see him get rehired, you know. Yeah. People are throwing around of well, if we can't get James Gunn back, can we get Taika Waititi back? And I'm like, oh my god, what an idea. You know, if they did, I wouldn't be as salty, but you know, it still wouldn't be the same.
I don't know, man.
It wouldn't be the true vision.
I think we should go with Ryan Johnson. I think people would love that.
Oh Jesus. Oh god. We're gonna remake Guardians Volume 3 with James Gunn. There's gonna be a huge campaign from the get-go.
Honestly, I can see that.
Oh
boy.
Okay.
Anyway.
Any other question?
You want me to start reading Twitter?
I think we only have one or two left. Okay. How much did Jonathan pay for Adele?
Man, that's a really funny one. Oh my god, I've never been asked that ever. I've never gotten a comment that says that. I've never had someone, you know, ask me. That's very new. That's new. Thank you for such original comedy. I'm kidding. I don't really. I don't care.
Lego
$12.
Nerd Photos. Yes. Lego Nerd Photos asks most realistic minifig of an actor. We were talking about this before the
I think it's Iron Man. He's definitely up there.
Iron Man, especially since Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal is like so caricaturable. Yeah. I guess like he doesn't like it's the facial hair really. I like the Christian Bale Batman and the Heath Ledger Joker from that big Tumblr set.
And then also the Jack Sparrow minifigure, I think.
Jack Sparrow is also a good one. Anime. Sorry, Logan Dulken. By the way, shout out to Logan Dulken for getting the thumbnail for this episode. He gave like the general sketch and then I digitized it.
But, really?
Thanks for him for that. Yeah, I did a dumb anime thing for this, but it works. You don't need to know about it. And then last one is Patriot Media 1 asks, is there a specific way you guys come up with video ideas? Which I think is a great question and is really hard to answer.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like every video idea is different, you know? It's like it's conceived differently because each thing that happens in the video is different, you know? So it's kind of hard to say that we have one way of coming up with like ideas, but usually we try to go for something that hasn't been done with brick films, like especially recently, you know, with like Robin's Origins or like, you know, the Batman Christmas Carol or the Batman in Vietnam thing. You know, we try to think of things that people haven't tried to tap into, you know, and we, I don't know, that's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah. It's hard to, like, that general question of, like, where do ideas come from? How do you get ideas?
You just kind of get inspiration from wherever. Usually if I come up with an idea, I write it down. Like, that's important if you ever want to like, come up with something.
Absolutely.
If you get an idea in your head, you got to write it down. Like, or else you're going to forget it, or you'll remember, like, a variant of it, but it won't be exactly what you had thought of originally. You need to write down whatever idea that comes to mind, even if you don't decide on using it. You know, you need to have that.
For like 2 years, I used to carry around like a little notebook, a little tiny notepad with me at all times.
Yeah.
And there's certainly something to be said about like actually writing something down, and you know, versus just typing it in. Nowadays, I'll just do a voice memo, like for the video I did Cafe, which is that actually might be my favorite brick film I've made.
Yeah.
For as an answer to the earlier question, but for the Cafe video, I originally had this idea of a like a Soviet spy and an American spy kind of sitting down in the same diner during the Cold War, and then it's this big like tension build up, and then at the end it just like cuts to black, as it looks like something might happen. But then that kind of, this was at like 2 in the morning, and I was like in bed, like with my eyes shut. But then I just grabbed my phone and did a voice recording, and I just kind of like got all my thoughts down. Yeah. And then over time, I took that raw idea and then distilled it more and more to the video that I eventually came out with. Yeah. So it is a very much like catching lightning in a bottle kind of situation, where if you get an idea, you have to put it down somewhere. Right. And now, nowadays with people having phones everywhere,
write it, put it in your notes or whatever. That's what I do.
Write it, voice memo, notes, carry around a notebook with you, whatever.
And then usually if we come up with an idea like that, we don't just jump into a script immediately. We try to plan it out in like an outline. We'll write down all the plot points we want to hit, how we're going to get to those plot points, yada yada yada. What happens on each beat, I guess, of the story.
Right.
And then we'll
make sure that the story makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then we start getting into the script. So it's like a process, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's every video is different. So.
And of course, for individual aspects and character dynamics, I mean, getting inspiration from other works of fiction or media or real life or whatever is always a part of it. Yeah. I don't know, read, like a lot of people get inspired from movies, and people making movies get inspired from movies, and I think that's created kind of like an incestuous relationship with the film industry, in any kind of like medium, really. Right. Anime. I mean, just to talk anime for a second, like for the past like 10-15 years, you had a little history of anime. Like you had the first TV anime coming out in like the 50s, 60s, and then you had people coming out in like the 70s, 80s, but these were all people that were original. Where they were getting their inspiration from was real life and stuff like that. But then you start getting stuff in like the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, where the people growing up making anime at this point grew up watching the stuff in, the previous generations. So it becomes, so their ideas are derived from previous works rather than real life, which becomes this kind of derivative process where you get a lot of tropes and where you get this kind of general stereotype idea of anime, because a lot of shows are like that. But again, this is applicable to movies or anything. Look for inspiration outside of media, real life or books. Books are great, but only nerds read, so whatever.
Yeah, of course. Only virgins, waste time on a
exactly. Yeah.
Fucking virgizoids.
So just look for inspiration in anywhere that you can, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
And then that's it for the Instagram comments.
We got a few on Twitter. Are you guys planning on continuing the podcast? Already answered. No. I mean, well, like we said earlier, maybe the occasional episode.
Kind of, maybe. Don't.
But it's not going to be consistent.
Right.
Will we get an Jonathan V. Akash Dawn of Good Content film? Nope. I don't know what that means, and I don't talk to Akash anymore. So.
Do you remember like a year ago, like everyone was like Josiah versus Tasty is the biggest meme or whatever? Like
it was a good meme, yeah. Well, Akash actually came to me with an idea for an Akash versus Aubrey Studios video that he wanted to do, and then he, kind of dropped the ball on animation. I don't mean to say that to like spite him. I mean he's been busy with a lot of other stuff.
Guy.
He's in film school right now.
Yeah,
he's doing really well. He moved in with his girlfriend, as far as I know. I haven't talked to him since like September, probably, is when I texted him last. So it's been a long time. But
yeah,
that idea kind of fizzled out, and he did come out with the video. Do you remember that? It's like, it was like that weird fighting video that he made. I forget.
Oh, it was like the sci-fi thing?
The sci-fi thing, yes, where they were like fighting. figure out the name of it. Damn, he's up to 160K.
He's got a lot of residual views, man.
He does, yeah.
You know what? Good for him.
The End is what it's called. What were you saying?
The End. I feel like over the years, we've kind of harbored this, like, I don't want to say hatred, but kind of like, you know, dislike for Akash for whatever reasons, you know, for whatever actions he's taken or stuff that he said,
right?
Or even, you know, in my case, you know, I was certainly jealous of the success he had. But at this point, it's like, you know what, man, I'm glad he was successful. You know, that's good for him.
Right.
You know, I'm glad that he's doing him and he's doing his own thing and he made money along the way.
Well, see, I'll come out and say that, like, I never was jealous of him being successful, really. It was really the fact that I was jealous that he was able to make this, what I considered mediocre, you know, level content and still get millions upon millions upon millions of views on that one video that he made on a fucking iPad. That's what always got under my skin, and I would try to justify it by saying, oh, well, his lighting here was bad, you know, whatever. I would nitpick it. But at the end of the day, like, he, you know, who cares? Like, he was successful. He's really evolved in his craft and his work. His animation is great now. I think he puts a lot of time into what he does, and he deserves, you know, the attention that he's garnered.
He deserves, he definitely deserves the credit that he gets.
And I would always mess with him and stuff, but I have no real malice towards the guy. You know, he's been my friend for a while.
At the end of the day, you know, good for him. I wish him well in the future. You know, we, as much as we like to meme on him, and at the end of every episode we said subscribe to Akash Lego Productions.
Subscribe to Akash Lego Productions. Yep.
And yep, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, well, man, I said it. Yep.
You know, well, that's it. Anyway, so, you know, just at the end of the day, good for him, man. You know, I don't, for anything we said in the past, it's funny how much you grow in, like, you know, 2 years as a teenager, or even 3 years, you know, when we were doing all the squad stuff back in 2015. Jesus,
man,
it's amazing honestly, how much.
We should, just as a side note before I forget, we should do, if we ever do come back to do a Blockheads episode, we're going to do a Squad episode at some point. We have to.
That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that just be amazing?
I was playing a game with Jeremy like a month ago after not talking to him for like 6 months. Yeah. And he's working at a movie theater right now, and a lot has changed for a lot of stuff, and you know, a lot of us, which is, you know, really cool to see. I think that would be fun if we could organize it.
Do you still? I've been meaning to ask you. Do you still have access to those live streams that we did? Like,
yes.
Do you? Can you send those to me?
Yes, absolutely.
I would love to just go through those. Oh my god.
The first squad podcast and the second one where Akash and you weren't there. I don't think.
Yeah.
Were you?
I think
you
I
were
was
there for the second one.
Yeah, I guess not. No, but it'd be pretty cool to do one again. You know, that's actually not a live stream and we all have decent quality mics. You know, just kind of because it's been so long since we've all collectively talked. You know, since we've spoken. But we used to be so close. That's kind of, I don't know. It's that really encouraged me to continue doing stop motion. You know, because I had you guys.
Right. Yeah, we had that group dynamic.
We had a group chat on Instagram. That's how we all met. It was just us five, and then eventually we added Mario, but that's kind of when the squad started to fizzle out.
Yeah, it was already dissolving at that point because of just general, like, drama.
There was a lot of drama.
Looking back on it, you know, and all the stuff in the squad drama, it was all dumb. It was all so dumb. And then even, you know, in the MBU there was drama. All of it is just nonsense. You look back on it and you're like, why did we... you look back on it like, why did we even fight over this stuff?
It's brick films, you know. And although
it's Lego videos.
I mean, I like drama. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love me a good train wreck. That's why I'm in the commentary community.
But like the kind of stuff we were arguing over was just not worth the energy.
Yeah,
it was so small scale compared to like some of actual legitimate drama that occurs on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know.
You know, like the whole Tasty Josiah drama. But to be fair, that did reach like hundreds of people. Like it was small, but we shouldn't like discredit it. You know,
it was pertinent and a lot of people remember it. And I'm sure I'll remember it for years.
Yeah,
you know,
because of how entertaining.
I don't remember anything that happened, but I remember
it
the
was
words,
funny.
JC, Tasty versus Josiah. So,
I don't know. There's a lot of drama just in the brick film community.
Yeah,
and it's.
I mean, because most of it is like young teenagers. Yeah. That's the thing. That's literally where drama breeds the most.
And then when you've got people forming groups. And like
and then like people are being exclusive to groups.
People are innately tribalistic, I think, and so when that kind of plays out in this sort of social situation, especially with people that age, drama is bound to happen, and so you just kind of have to buckle up and go along for the ride, and that's something I like, huh?
Yeah, whether it be like cliques or politics or movies,
it could be
definitely. Everyone's got their tribes that they like to be in, and that's why I hate identitarianism, where you're like, I'm a this thing or I'm a that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just another way to like
divide people. Yeah. Fucking dumb.
Yeah. Keep an open mind, kids. That's the blockhead podcast.
Yeah, that's our moral. That's the moral of the story after 19 episodes. If you can take something out of it, it would be that.
Please.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say on that. But I didn't even mean for it to get into that.
Yeah, it got real. Yeah. It got real.
But yeah, no, expect to see maybe some sort of the squad reunion. That would be absolutely sick, and I don't see why anyone else wouldn't be down for it.
Yeah,
it's just, it would be scheduling really would be the hardest part.
Yeah, all of us being able to get together. I mean, we all live in the U.S., right? But
we'd have to fly them all out to
like
Guam,
all the. We're literally divided amongst all the time zones. I think.
Well, Akash is Canadian, so I mean. There's that.
Yeah, I know, but he's Toronto, I think.
I don't.
So that's.
I used to have his address, because
I'm in Mountain Time. You
Central
and
Time.
Akash are Central, and
is Akash
Jeremy's
Central?
I thought because Toronto, right? He's either Central or Eastern, and then
me and Austin are in the same time zone. So
you in Austin, and then Jeremy's in Ohio, so that's Eastern, I think.
Yeah, so we're kind of scattered, but. I don't know.
A little scattered, but it's honestly not that bad.
No, it's not too bad. Could be worse. Okay, so moving on. What are your thoughts on the recent Cohen news? I don't keep up with.
Honestly,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I have plugged out of politics. At least, I mean, like compared to last year, like there's so much other stuff going on right now that I just haven't been able to pay attention to it, and I also don't really care.
That's probably healthier.
Here's the thing, like Trump. You say what you will about him, he's turning this into a reality show in a way, and that's a big turnoff for me, because there's so much to follow, and I just
I still follow politics, but by and far the least absolute bottom of the barrel appealing part of politics, at least with this Trump administration to me, and I just could not care less about, is everything regarding Cohen, the investigation,
the Mueller investigation. That's the part that turns me away. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Russia collusion. I don't want to hear any of it, and that's all everyone cares about.
I want to move on from that. I want him to be able to run the country. You know what I mean? It's not like he's doing a good job of it, but like I want to focus on the things that matter now.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got the the midterms coming up, and that's going to be the first election I can actually vote in, which is crazy.
Right.
By the way, if you live in Texas, vote Beto O'Rourke, please. Let's get Cruz out.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Got him.
I hate saying that because it makes me sound like a fucking liberal cuck, but I hate Ted Cruz. I really do. I just can't stand
Cruz.
The guy. Time for some porn-a-rooney. Have you seen that tweet?
Man, and really? Oh yeah, with the incest porn.
Yep.
God, what a meme that was.
No, that wasn't me. An intern liked that tweet. I'm gonna fire him. Whatever, Cruz. I would have liked him a lot more if he could have just come out and said, "Yeah, I like the porn tweet. So what?" You know what I mean?
That would have been real, man. He would have gotten.
He would have gotten my vote. Yeah.
The millennial Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I'm gonna miss the midterm election because my birthday is like a week after it, which is lame.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to vote until 2020 in the big one when Trump.
Well, see, that's when
Trump's going for round 2.
That's when you can vote for Kanye, so it's fine.
Exactly. Swift. 2020.
Man, I used to have a Kanye Swift shirt. Or those.
Did you? Do you actually? I have.
There's
two
a picture of me
shirts.
in that shirt that's gotten out. I don't know who has it still. Bridget had it for a while, but
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was 14 or 15-year-old me wearing this shirt, wearing this blue shirt that's like West Swift 2020. Jesus. Awful.
Honestly, at this point, if we found out that Trump was colluding with the Russians, I'm like so burnt out at this point that it's like, does it really even matter that much? Like with all the bureaucracy that
we meddle in so many
Washington,
elections as well, like ourselves,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Like, does it even really matter? It's just people want to impeach Trump.
People do want to.
At the end of the day,
that's really what it stems from. I feel like, and I know a lot of people.
Politics is exhausting. The less you. Here's what I say: care about them enough so that when you vote, you can be an informed voter, right? And you can change and shape the future. Stay up with the biggest issues that you can. But when you get into the minutia of inter-politician mingling and collusion and stuff, like that's when you're in too deep. And you're to the point where you're nitpicking, really. And you're paying more attention than you need to, and you're paying more attention than probably what is healthy. And you're probably going to just get riled up and mad, right? Yeah. That's the thing.
Because really, it's like, if he did collude, it's like, is there anything we can do about it? Besides impeaching him, like it's not. The damage has been done.
Oh, great! Pence is president now.
Yeah,
what do you do? Great job, guys. Let's impeach him. Oh,
people want to do that too. People want to impeach Pence, and he's not even in office yet. But whatever.
And then it goes to Paul Ryan, and then I don't know who else.
Do you think?
That.
Okay, this is just on the topic of politics. Hillary Clinton recently opened her DMs. Do you think? Do you think she's eyeing a potential 2020 run? I really, really hope not, because if the Democrats know what's good for them, they're not going to shove Hillary into the limelight again.
Yeah,
we can't afford it. We have to have. I think if the Democrats want to win, if they're really serious about beating Trump, they're going to have to get someone new. They're going to have to get someone fresh, someone that isn't a career politician, someone that hasn't had like a family dynasty that's been involved in politics for years.
I think they need like another Bernie-like, maybe a little toned down.
Yeah,
but someone who is kind of more of that social. Because here's the thing: there are far more millennials than any other generation in America right now. It's just they don't vote.
Right.
That's the problem. Millennials generally don't vote. And with the beginning by 2020, you're gonna have some of the Gen Zers as well. They're probably gonna align themselves with the millennials, though the Gen Zers are surprisingly a little bit more conservative because of that. But still,
think that's surprising, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a pendulum that swings back and forth, especially with age dynamics. I think, yeah, like you said, someone fresh, someone new, someone Bernie-like, maybe not as extreme, maybe someone with more policy, in mind and plans. Yeah. It's just
only time will tell.
Because here's the thing, like Texas, like everyone thinks is the deepest red state.
Oh, it's
ever.
Definitely not. Yeah.
It is close. It is surprising. Like you look at the how many people voted for Clinton in the last election. Places like Austin, and I'm sure you can talk, have more insight into this than I do. But like, there's a lot of these liberal college towns that a lot of people live in.
We are really on the verge of becoming a blue state, and I think that if they were able to get somebody who's actually able to connect with, young Democratic voters, I think Texas could easily swing blue. And I honestly think it's got a really good chance of swinging blue in the midterms, just with this Beto O'Rourke guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's really good at conveying an opinion, his views, at presenting himself. He's very Kennedy-esque, and I feel like that's somebody that they're gonna need to beat Trump. Somebody like that, because at this point, Trump still has a very strong and committed base.
Right,
and he's gonna be really hard to overturn. So,
and look, at the end of the day, if you're of voting age, for the love of God, vote. Even if you're in a state where you think your vote doesn't count, where you think. I live in California. Why do I even bother voting Republican? A third of California still votes Republican. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dangerous mindset.
Generally conservative.
When you start thinking my vote doesn't matter, and if you get into the minutia of stuff, it's your vote by itself is probably a little insignificant, but combined with everybody else, you know,
if everyone that could vote did vote, you know, and wasn't barred by anything like that, how much, you know, the landscape, I think, would drastically shift in America for politics. It's, you know, so many people are suppressed because of, like, you know, whatever reason.
Yeah. So many people think their vote doesn't matter, and that's the problem. Well, we've got so many people with that frame of mind. But whatever. That went on for longer than I got to get my charger real quick, or my computer's gonna die.
That's fun. So, you guys like memes? For the past hour, we've been pretty serious, but I appreciate a good meme myself. You know, I gotta shout it out to the Howard the Alien meme. It's a pretty good meme. I appreciate the little guy. He's a little green screen guy. He's dancing. That's good. Hey, Matt, welcome back.
I like how we said we weren't gonna get into like a political discussion, but here we are.
Right.
Anyway,
it's natural. We gotta
That's how it is. Let's go ahead and let's move on. Let me go back to the tweet. We got surprisingly a lot of questions on Twitter, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were just waiting, you know, for something to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened, and they were ready, I guess, maybe.
So sweet. Okay. Best set of 2017/2018. I don't know. I haven't bought a Lego set.
I don't know.
in so long.
I haven't bought anything on purpose.
Shazam or Aquaman? We've already talked about it.
Well,
is my Avi terrifying? Yes, it is.
That's the guy with the one that's like tearing his face apart, right?
Well, it's because I told him once in a DM. I was like, "Your Avi is fucking horrifying."
It's certainly unsettling.
Do I like being a college man?
So.
You're gonna have to ask me in a year. You know?
Yeah. Got him.
What are your thoughts on the whole YouTube boxing thing? Is it good? Is it bad? What could it lead to? Or will it just die out like diss tracks? I'm actually planning on making an entire video on this on my commentary channel, Jay Aubrey. Please go subscribe to it. I gotta do another plug there.
What are your short thoughts about it? I'm curious to hear what you think.
I think it's actually really great. I think it's a really good way.
Yes.
Because here's the thing, right? Is that YouTube, in the eye of the mainstream media, does not have a good reputation, right? And so, and people don't think it's as legitimate as it is. And so, seeing that this boxing event could potentially be bigger, be more popular than I've seen people saying that it's going to be more popular than the McGregor fight that just that happened like a year ago or whatever.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially
when that's like when the barrier for entry for that is $100 pay-per-view versus like $8.99 on YouTube, and people are pissed at that.
I'm a little pissed at that too, because people are still going to be streaming it for free for people. So really, they're just losing money. But whatever.
I think like a $2.99 would be way more accessible for people.
Yeah.
Anyway, but even putting any
amount of money is a big turnoff for people, and they're just going to go find it for free somewhere else.
Yeah. I would have really liked them to go free and then just find a sponsor or somebody that could cover the costs of it. Yeah. Because, look, at this point, YouTube's not going to win over traditional media outlets by their reputation alone. No. All right? There's a lot of idiots with a lot of freedom on this platform. We just got to get that. We just got to accept that.
Yeah.
The only way we're going to convince traditional media of YouTube's true power, and I think they definitely understand it. 1.9 billion unique users a month. Yeah. That says something. The way that we're going to convince traditional outlets is by sheer fucking numbers. Yeah. Right? Just by seeing these live events. How many live viewers did the KSI Joe Weller thing?
I don't know, but it's not going to get near as much.
It was certainly
didn't get near as much as
millions.
this is going to get. I'll tell you something.
Yeah,
Logan Paul and KSI, and then of course the undercard being Jake Paul and Deji. That's fucking huge. That is incredible. This is Logan Paul said on one of the press conferences that it's really going to be the biggest internet event really ever.
Period.
And he's right. Yeah. He's fucking right. Like, this is making history. And so I think it's absolutely great. I'd love to see it progress, because I think it does legitimize the platform in a way, especially if we're able to get so many people to watch it. So I think it's fine. I have no problem with it. Did you actually see the Weller KSI fight?
No, I didn't.
I watched it after,
at all.
Just because I wasn't awake. I slept in, but I'll definitely be
Yeah.
seeing this one. I feel like a lot of people are as well. I don't know if they're doing another press conference or not. I tried to find that out, but there was no information. They've done 2 so far, and they were both shit shows, which I'll talk about that in my video. But
I'm definitely gonna watch this one live, even if I have to pay for it.
and then of course, yeah, I will too. Who are you?
Do you want to like get in a call together?
Oh, of course,
and
yeah, sure.
Have like a little party.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Who, just out of curiosity, who are you rooting for, and who do you think will win?
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay, I personally,
Honestly,
yeah. Huh?
I think they're both asshats.
Oh, completely.
I think the internet would love to see Logan Paul lose, but honestly, like after this most recent press conference that they had, where Logan just got
I think it's the other way
shat
around.
on.
I think now most people are going to be on the side of the Pauls. At least people that I've talked to.
Especially after that press conference.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Where in the UK, of course, you're gonna get all the Deji fans.
Right.
Is that KSI's name? Deji?
No, Deji is his little brother.
Oh well, whatever. KSI's fans.
Which,
we're all
by the
there
way, I'm
in
just gonna
support.
say I would put money. I would actually put money, and I might put money on the fact that Jake Paul will beat Deji so hard. There's no competition. Have you seen Deji compared to Jake Paul? I mean, there's no way. There's no way Deji has a chance. Jesus.
I remember Jake Paul was a little flabby for a while there, but he's probably toned up.
He's bulked up a little bit, but compared to Deji and his noodly arms, like there's no way. There's no way Deji's gonna win. I'm sorry. I would put money.
Even in 3 months of like intensive training, Yeah. Do you think he would have?
I just don't think so. I don't even think he has the mindset either. I feel that's the thing. Like I feel like KSI and Deji, this has become apparent by the most recent press conference, is that they don't know how to handle this, right? They're taking it very personally, whereas the Pauls realize that it's a spectacle. They realize that they're putting on a show, so they know how to handle it. And I feel like that's really what's going to win a lot of people over to root for them. It's won me over to root for them, and I do think that Logan will win.
Yeah, I have kind of gone over to Logan. Like everyone wants to see Logan get beat the shit out of him, but KSI is also an asshat too.
Yeah, completely.
That's the thing. So like I don't really care who wins. I am kind of rooting for Logan a little bit. I just want to have a good fight
I think it will be a
at the end
good
of the day.
fight. I think Logan has he has a lot more going for him, like in the fact that this is kind of the way for him to bounce back or to rise up after the whole Suicide Forest thing. This is, he's got a lot of motivation, I feel like. So it's important that KSI doesn't undermine that, I guess. I don't know.
I'm very excited. It's closing in. It's
It
like
is
August
25th. So I've got
25th?
I've got one video on the way right now.
What time is it?
What time is it?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Do you know what time it's gonna be airing?
I don't know. I have to go check. It's happening in.
Shit, I might be in New Mexico when that happened. Oh no, not the first week of school. Second week of school. Yes. Okay. Good.
Oh
We're
fuck!
good.
That's 5 days after I've got classes. Jesus.
Sick. Hopefully it's not during the day.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Weller.
It's in the UK, right?
The Weller KSI fight was during the day, and that was in the UK. So I don't know. I mean, if anything, I'll watch it after, but hopefully I'll be able to see the live
Honestly,
stream.
I might skip out just to watch it because I am really excited for it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I think it'll be very entertaining, regardless of how it goes. I don't know. I'm excited, and I think YouTube boxing is great, and I hope it continues.
I think it's only a positive, really.
So we've got a few more here before we wrap it up, because I gotta go. How's Hawkeye and Aquaman buddy cops? Dude, I don't know.
I don't think you're gonna be doing too many side.
No, I think from now on
you're just gonna be focusing on.
It's gonna be Batman, and it's gonna be
episodes.
maybe the occasional podcast recreation. Like I still want to do another Lego Baited. I'd like to do a Lego Jarcast at some point again. And those would be easy in between commentary stuff. Because like I said, this month, August, I've got one video planned that I've just started drafting the script for, and then after that I've got to do the KSI and Logan thing around that time when it comes out. So I don't know. After that I'll probably work on a Burt film of some kind, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Why did you decide to make your videos similar to Forrest's? This is to Jonathan, if it wasn't obvious. I don't know. I mean, when you start off with a YouTube channel, right, you obviously take inspiration from somebody. And I took more than inspiration from Forrest, and I saw how well his videos were doing, and I was like, well, I could do this, or something similar to it. And so that's kind of what I did. I saw him doing well, and I wanted to mimic that in a way. And it started off kind of copying him, and then it evolved into this other separate series where we've taken inspiration from him, but we've twisted it into our own way. You know, it's a different animal now. And Forrest has even said that himself on a live stream once. Somebody asked about this, and he said pretty much just that. So, you know.
And the thing is, like, especially when, you know, we're as young as we were when we were starting out,
Yeah.
everyone copies somebody, right? I was copying Dark Side Lego Studios when I was starting out. Yeah. The Lego Zombie Apocalypse interactive game. I mean, interactive games were a giant trend whenever that was happening. Yeah, so, and then, you know, you over time as you build your skill, and I think it is kind of good to copy in the beginning, because then you have kind of like a template almost to start from, and then as you develop your skills, then you can start straying. It's easier to develop your skills when you kind of already have like a vision of what you want to do. And then you develop your skills, and then you can start making your own stuff. Really.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's one more in here that says, can we expect to see more content on either of Jonathan's channels after college starts? And what are both of your future plans regarding your channels with school and everything? And we've touched on this, obviously, earlier in the podcast, but, you know, I will continue to post on my commentary channel despite community college. It's not like that's going to take a whole lot out of me. And then, like I said, the occasional Batman episode and recreation. So what about you, Alex?
That's a good question. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing after this Infinity War trailer. I mean, part of it is like, this is kind of like a coup de grace kind of final, almost, you know, ending kind of thing, where I am doing like a 20-minute behind-the-scenes video to answer any question anyone's ever had, pretty much, and show like VFX breakdowns and stuff like that. And that's coming out the same day
for a Lego Batman episode, actually.
Yeah, that I'm sure tons of people have questions about that stuff, about the workflow and all that.
Not a bad idea.
And that's gonna be releasing the same day the trailer is, and that's getting really close to being done.
Yeah.
So that should be fine, easy. And then once that's finished, I'm gonna be shifting. I don't think I'm gonna be doing traditional brick films anymore.
Right.
It's like what I've been doing with like minifigures and stories and stuff like that. I have this scratch though. I want to finish Howling Commandos a lot. Ooh. I really want to get something done. I cut out an episode. I have 2 episodes I want to do. They're maybe like 5 to 6 minutes each long. They'd probably take a month each to do. And I don't know where that would fit in. Probably after I finish college applications and then I start getting senioritis, you know, and then and then I'll probably have time maybe towards the latter half of the year. But until then, I'm going to be trying to build up my portfolio for, you know, film schools. Yeah. You know, short films, live action, more experimental animations, maybe not necessarily with Lego, but, you know, kind of certainly different than what I've been doing. Yeah. As for going into college, what I will be uploading, I mean, I'm gonna be making films in college.
Yeah,
you know, ideally, ideally, I'm aiming for a film school. So if I do create stuff in college and I'm allowed to, I'll certainly upload that to either my main channel or my second channel. I'm kind of torn on whether I want to keep my main channel like just Lego stuff, or just because I've been trying to, for like a year now, I wanted to like, you know, shift it more toward like the branding of the channel towards more neutral, you know, filmmaking. I just don't know, like I just want a logo, and I feel like if I start with just like getting a logo or a good thumbnail or avatar that's not involved with Lego, then or Star Wars or anything like that, that's my own thing, then that would
really get the ball rolling.
Pretty much, yeah. Then I would start the shift, at least in branding. But even still, you know, I'll do whatever. I have a few videos and short films on my second channel, actually, from old stuff. And I have like a documentary I kind of want to do about this old series that I did with my friends when we were 11 and how they kind of brought us all together and anything. But anyway,
that's cool.
So it's up in the air, I guess. You know, only time will tell.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess there's one more question here, and I think it's a proper one to end with. Fuck, marry, kill Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Okay, so Theodore's got the thickness.
That's what I was thinking. Okay,
Theodore's got some cake.
Theodore has
not gonna
the
lie.
cake, okay? It's not even cake at that point. It's fucking like... I don't know, what's more than cake?
What's a bigger pastry than a cake?
It's like a pound cake, you know what I mean?
It's like a pound cake.
Fucking hell yeah.
Damn, because he got the pounds.
He got pounds, dude. Oh, his hips do not lie. So, obviously, he'd be the fuck option. I would fuck
Absolutely.
Theodore, okay? Saying it right now.
So then we have marry and kill Alvin.
I'm gonna kill Simon. I'm gonna kill Simon, okay? Because he's got glasses.
Okay.
He's a fucking nerd, all right? He's a virgin. He's this nerd that I don't want to have to do. Interesting. That I don't want to have to look at. You know what I mean? Like Alvin.
Here's the thing.
I'm fine with like waking up in the morning, right, and turning over and seeing Alvin staring at me, like next to me in bed. I'm fine with that. That'd be fine. I could do that for the rest of my life. I'd marry Alvin.
Alvin has such a rambunctious, independent personality. I think he'd be a terrible person to marry.
Really?
You know, 5 years down the line, you're done, you're divorced.
Here's the thing, he'd keep it interesting. And if he does divorce you, you got Theodore. You know what I mean?
But you have to go with it. He's so independent. You'd always have to go with what he wants to do.
He's the dom. What's wrong with that?
Well, if you're sub, I guess.
Would you not let Alvin dominate?
You know, I'm sure Adele is your dom.
Would you not let? Okay,
right?
Clearly, she's 5 foot. You know, she's intimidating. She's scary. How could
true.
she not be? She's anybody's dom. Alvin is the dom of all doms. You know what I mean? Like he's above any dom that has ever dommed. Quite frankly, Alvin the chipmunk.
Domination isn't necessarily intuitive for a lasting relationship.
Depends on how you go about it. Depends on how submissive you want to be.
Marriage is a lifelong commitment for the most part, except for 50% of America. But, okay, if you're thinking longevity here, like, who would be the person that would actually, like, do their taxes, right? Alvin or Simon? Who do you think is going to be more financially stable? Alvin or Simon? Simon, okay, even if you don't like Simon's going to get a job, maybe in STEM, maybe in aerospace,
you don't like
something
Simon?
nerdy like
so
that.
You would marry somebody.
He's going to make a shit ton of money.
You would marry someone just for their
Simon's
money.
going to make a
Alex,
bunch of money,
you're a gold digger.
and then you can marry him for
You're
his
a gold
money,
digger,
leech
Alex.
off of him
you're
for
marrying
years,
Simon
and
for
then
his
you're set.
wallet. You're marrying him for his wallet and for his job and for his money, for his bank account. You're looking at the numbers. You're not looking at his heart, Alex. Alvin is someone who would really, care for you. Doms take care of you. Alvin would take care of me, and I would take care of him. That's how it would go.
He'd do his own thing. He'd go off to the weekend in Vegas and spend all your life savings, all your fucking mortgage on hookers and blow, okay? And then he'd come back the next week and say, "Oh, well, did I do that? Or I hate Mondays, or I love lasagna, or something. Whatever his catchphrase is."
Yeah, I mean...
Fuck you. Fuck Alvin. I'm killing Alvin. I'm marrying Simon.
There you have it, folks. That's episode...
But Theodore definitely got that pound
he got the cake by the pound, let's be fair.
He got the cake.
But there you have it, everybody. That's episode 19 of the Blockheads podcast. I don't really know what else to say at this point. Follow us on social media.
I think there's only subscribe to us.
Subscribe to us, and most importantly, Alex, I think what they need to do.
Aubrey, if there's one thing you get away from this dumb podcast, it's that you should subscribe to Akash Lego Productions.